All right, hello, hello. All right, there we go. That was weird. All right, it should be popping up now. So let me know if you guys can hear me right now. I can see the red bar moving again. I have no idea what that was. I had to do the old unplug it. I can hear you now. Okay, cool. Yeah, I had to do the old unplug it, plug it back in thing. That was kind of funky. I don't know what the heck was going on with that. I was like, it was just working. What happened? Don't know. But yeah, all right, so we're in. All right, guys. So welcome back. It's Wednesday. We've made it this far. One day of virtual schooling down. Wasn't as bad as I thought it could be, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm probably going to start switching the time around from chart schools a little bit. Just trying to, juggle. The kids start at 8:30, so it's kind of like I have to trust that they're getting on as well as the baby's waking up. So I think maybe this week we'll continue with the 8 o'clocks, but I think next week we're going to switch to 9 to 10. That way it'll encompass the opening, give us some setups for those 10 o'clock reversals. Again, we missed the 8:30 news, but at least this way that I can have the baby up, fed, and again, I know with certainty the boys are actually logged in and doing their schoolwork versus getting off at like 9 and be like, oh god, they've missed half. But yeah, you will see. You understand, Ernest, what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, I'm trusting right now. And when you ask how their day was yesterday, the one boy was like, it was horrible. It was the most boring thing. We had to sit here for 6 hours. I was like, man, you're already getting groomed for cubicle life. And then the other boy was just like, he had PE, and literally PE was him getting like a big like kitchen spoon, like a stirring spoon, like for a pot. And they made him roll up a ball, and he was trying to throw it into a piece of Tupperware. That was gym class yesterday. So needless to say, they were not super happy. I ran them extra hard at lacrosse practice. But yeah, so it's kind of like, I just want to make sure that my kids are actually logged in. Yeah, not the biggest issue when they're not here when they're at their mom's, but on my week, I want to make sure that they're locked in. So I think next week we may just start trying to do 9 to 10 a.m. Make it a little bit easier. I know Marina will be happy. She'll be able to sleep a little bit longer. I know she's waking up, super early, 5 o'clock in the morning to be able to catch these things with that delay. But maybe give her an extra hour of sleep. All right, so what have we seen in 24 hours since yesterday's Nadex broadcast? Basically, the UK is falling apart. I don't know if you guys see the latest over here. Scotland and Wales say the British government bill threatens, UK unity. So it's kind of funny. I don't know that the UK necessarily cares about some of the other kind of regions up there besides themselves, nor have they really ever. I mean, yeah, the unity is great, but again, and I think it's funny they're talking about, it breaks international rules in a limited fashion. It's like, come on, everything that everybody does breaks international rules. I mean, come on, you're just pushing the boundaries. China doesn't even do it on a limited basis. They just straight up, don't do it. They just straight up and break the rules and don't ever have to pay anything for it. So why should the UK be different, right? I mean, come on, the boundaries have been pushed, and it's only limited. So, that's why we're seeing kind of the implosion right now of the pound. And really, besides that, nothing else is moving. It's like I said, all the news is back, back end loaded here this week. So, I mean, you can see the euro dollar down 9, which is nothing. Dollar yen 2 is nothing. Dollar Swiss 8, nothing. Dollar CAD 50 is a little bit. Right, we're continuing to see that strength kind of rebound off of that one. Aussie dollar 0, which is nothing. And then again, pound dollar down big. Pound yen down big, and then euro pound up again 77, which is a big day for that pair again because of all the pounds. So I mean, it's starting to blow through levels, top and bottom at this point. It's banging off, some of the higher level ones, but I'm actually okay with it. A lot of these things, I mean, the pound has kind of had some sideways movement. We're kind of sitting in the middle of the curve on a daily, so it falling this far is bringing us back down into good levels. And once this, once this drama in the bill is passed, the bill I think gets released. I think it's today, right? Will be published. Yeah, it'll be published on Wednesday. So I mean, that was 4 minutes ago. So it's not out yet. So yeah, we got some time on this one. It'll be out sometime today. But again, eventually, all this kind of strife here will stop, and they'll get back to kind of COVID recovery and everything else. So, I'm fine with this. I mean, bring it much lower. It gives us the ability to get it a bit cheaper. And as we see the benefits or downfalls of it, again, we'll see movement. Now, the interesting thing about it is when you see pulses like this and it becomes so irrational, sometimes it's better to, I mean, again, you can get in on pullbacks, right? Again, one of the strategies that we've kind of coined and put in here is the Harry Potter trade, right? And all it is just a continuation to the downside or upside, right? It's a continuation breakout. Those are setups that we can use right now without a doubt, right? Those are great to use. Besides that, you just don't try to pick a top or bottom when it's this emotional. It's pretty simple. But as for what we have for today, obviously this dollar CAD, and again, that could be why we see some of the the 50 pips up movement in this one, the overnight rate and the statement. So I don't think they're cutting. I don't think we're everybody doesn't there's no expectation for a cut. But the BOC rate statement is kind of what people are looking at. What are they going to say? What type of forecast and things like that are they talking about? I think that's really what's going to be more of a driving factor. Now, it is at 10 o'clock, so we can kind of see what the open looks like, where it pushes, and we'll see if that kind of gives us somewhat of a potential turnaround, right? Right at 10 o'clock. So I think that's the best look there. And again, if we have time, we will go ahead and look at the CAD. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't stay late today because again, I got to make sure that my kids are actually doing their schooling by 9 o'clock. We made it through the first day, and I didn't get an email from teachers. I'm hoping that day 2 I don't get one either. Although I will say, Wednesdays is their half day. So it's kind of funky the way that they do their schooling, but Wednesdays they have a half day every week. I don't know. I have many opinions, many Facebook posts from parents. It's kind of interesting, to say the least. But so I can't say around too much, but I'll try to get the CAD in today as well. But again, nothing really on the news front we need to really watch out for today, minus this CAD data. Tomorrow morning early, before we get on, we do have this Euro main refinancing rate and the monetary policy statement. The monetary policy statement is going to be something to watch. This could actually flip that euro pound around. It won't affect the pound too much, but the euro pound currency pair, it will have some movement. And then at 8:30 tomorrow morning is where we have the PPI numbers. And again, that's where we could see probably some fireworks with gold. I don't know if you guys traded or not, the level we talked about yesterday. Again, that huge emotional burst up and then the slowing inside of that level. I don't know if you guys looked at it, but we had a pretty nice down draw of about $15, $17 in gold off that level. Ernest, I will get you back for the meme yesterday. Just going to say it right now. Paybacks will be sweet. I'm going to get you back on that one. But anyway, so again, 8:30 tomorrow, we'll be back on again. We'll be able to talk. And remember, tomorrow is the crude oil inventory day. Today, it is not here because there was no trading on Monday, so it gets bumped back one day. So again, probably not too much. Like I said, it'll be news, right? Looking at kind of the big things today, we'll press on with the internal markets bill. Again, Johnson is doing it. He's made a commitment and he's doing it. I love this one too. Exposes Boris's Brexit plan as PM is ready to hit, the nuclear button. Like I said, he's made a commitment and he's going to do what he said he was going to do. Whether he goes down in flames because of it, I don't think he cares. I think he's made it and said that this is what I'm doing and we're doing it and we're not messing around. And I kind of give him some credit for it. I mean, it's going to be on him one way or the other. Obviously the way that the kind of environment is right now, everybody would rather push blame than really kind of help build things. This is the plan. They had their chances to do it last year. May got kind of booted. So again, props to Boris. Boris is getting it done. Again, this is what people voted for. They should be happy about it. Just because people don't like it, though, oh well, people are always going to like it. And then check this one out. Deep regrets. Billionaire admits he lost $41 million day trading stocks. Yep. $41 million. Now, let's keep this in picture here. If you are a billionaire, are you worried about losing $41 million? Yeah, it probably hurts, but think about it. I mean, if you have over $1 billion, what percentage of this, 41 million dollars day trading stocks, and who knows if it was in one day, I love when they do this. Like, he lost $41 million, but he's got like over $1 billion. Like, it's a very, very small percent. So it looks big for the average Joe, but not much. Not losing 1 minute sleep over that. I know, right? And then BOC to reassure markets on rates and stick to low. Yeah, see, lower for longer. We've talked about this before. Could announce policy tweaks this week after shock inflation. Yeah, hold on. Let me see this one real quick. This one I'm actually kind of curious about. Federal Reserve closing on Thursdays. Discuss monetary policy stances. Yep, slowing here. Signs of a slowing economy in the euro is appreciated, and core inflation slumped to a new low. Now, again, one of their kind of mandates is inflation. So central banks, they do try to get inflation because having a level of inflation is considered healthy. But now it's a low level of inflation. So again, rates this low levels of inflation. Again, that is kind of a the doom and gloom clause for gold. Yeah, okay. So we may have a princess in here in a little bit. The dog decided to open the door. So if you guys hear a little tiny voice yelling play, that would be Jin wanting to come over. And yeah, we'll see if I can get the play. And daddy daycare will start. Yeah, yesterday I was like the Mac. I had 2 kids in schooling, organizing the child, did one mentoring appointment in the afternoon, got the baby to nap. Everybody got fed yesterday and got out to lacrosse practice and wasn't late, and moved 2 goals from one field to another. I was pretty proud yesterday. And I did sleep good last night because I was just smoked by the time I got, back to bed. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's look at the scanner real quick. Scanner is basically showing me one big thing, right? The pound is still jacked, and it's not even like there's pullbacks, right? 4 hour, 30-minute, 5-minute, all down confirmed. I mean, it's just getting hammered. And again, that's great. I'm fine with this. Hammered all the way down to lower on the curve. Give me great buying opportunities. I'm cool with that. All right. Now, Aussie basket. Aussie basket. Princess is awake. Slowly. She's kind of awake. As you can see here, again, Aussie against the yen, New Zealand, and dollar, we are on the downside. Versus the Swiss and the CAD, again, back on the upside. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Again, you typically, the big kind of linchpin in here is always going to be New Zealand. You want to watch out for that one and kind of see, what is it doing, right? What is it doing? Because again, these two tend to go in kind of, together, right? They're not in cahoots, but you know what I'm saying, guys. They typically will go together, like gold and silver does. But if you're showing weakness against it, that's kind of an interesting play. Now, the CAD, once again, we're seeing CAD strength, right? CAD strength, except versus New Zealand and the Aussie. Okay, so there's that kind of play of back of things again. So again, overall, we're seeing CAD strength. And again, that may change this morning once we hit that 10 o'clock number. They're trying to reassure the government, but when you're reassuring people, typically it's not good, right? So yeah, we'll see how that one turns out. Euro is kind of mixed, all right? So I know we see in the euro pound up here, 73 pips to the top side, but again, that's not so much the euro itself, that is more the pound. And we've had a little bit more euro movement now, it's down 25, but Euro, I would say, is really, and again, I don't consider this really European strength, even though it's up here. For the most part, I would say Europe is probably more on the negative at this point. There is some data. We will get some news a little bit later as well. But again, kind of coming back on its heels. And then again, dollar strength. Right, we're seeing dollar strength literally across the board, except versus the CAD. But CAD right now is the big boy. CAD, I think, takes the cake as the strongest, followed up by the dollar. At that point, I would say it's probably a toss-up. Probably Aussie is next. Then we go Aussie, yen, and then we have the pound being the low man on the totem pole at this point. So it is kind of setting up for an interesting morning today. Like I said, I think at 10 o'clock, I think there will be some interesting trade setups. The question is, are we able to get a lot of these pullbacks? You see a lot of these green boxes, meaning that we have pullbacks. Where, will we see, again, will these turn into anchor breaks on the 4 hour as they're kind of bursting into new levels? All right, so it's some interesting stuff. So with that said, let's go over into the charts. All right. So we're sitting right here right now, right? Yesterday, we were sitting approximately here. So we're basically in the same spot. Sorry. By the way, I can tell you that it's fall time, at least in Maryland, because my allergies are going nuts again. Right? We had like rain for a week, and now it's just, it's killing me. I wish I actually streamed with a camera in the morning. So the baby's sitting behind me at the second desk in the office, watching her. She's got like a little Amazon Fire tablet. She's watching. She calls it Two Babies. But it's like one of these little programs. She's like 2, but like it's amazing how adult she is already. So yesterday, again, all we saw was a drop down, and then again at about late last night, probably about 7, 8 o'clock at night, we got that reversal off these lower levels. Right now, I wouldn't say these lower levels were the best of levels. I mean, they're okay. I mean, we got a nice little bounce off of it last time it came here. It had been pushed. So it wasn't horrible, right? I mean, I think when we bounce it off of, here, you can see that is this level of basing. So, I mean, we had drawn this, a couple different times in this level, okay? Now, is it an area that you would have taken for a trade? Maybe, maybe not. We mentioned it and said, hey, keep an eye on this one. We were really looking for a bit of a retrace, right? And that's all we did. I mean, we got a big push down starting it, yesterday at, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It reversed and then came back up. I still think today, if we can get some more oomph on this one, more dollar weakness and reaction, I do think this Harry Potter trade is still in effect. Going higher, again, it's got to retrace these. It's got one level it's got to get past, and it's about the only thing I'm worried about is just the formation of this drop base drop down. So we'll see. Again, still on there from yesterday. If you grab this bottom one, hey, props to you guys. Good grab. Like I said, one of those ones that would have been like kind of more of a, whoops, what did I take off the top? There we go. Delete that. All right. Now, had we gotten the touch here, then yeah, I would say that's a decent run up. You could have made about 40 off of that one, but we missed it by just a little bit, unfortunately. All right. So again, still holding this one. This level comes in at approximately, let's see, 72.53 to 72.64. So, we're talking about, breaking through that level right there. About a 10 pip, about a 10 pip range, to go higher, about 30. So that could be a good one to grab for this morning. Aussie yen. Here's my picture from the Aussie yen. I'll bring it down to a 30-minute because, again, that's typically what we're trading off of. And there you go. So I said this level is going to be pretty important. Or they're going to, if we're able to get a touch, bounce up, and then boom, we're higher. Or if we go lower, come back up. And again, what did we mention? Confirmation entry, whether a Harry Potter lower or a confirmation higher. Same bounce. It's just which direction it's heading in. Well, what did we get? The first strike through the level, we went all the way through and pulled right back up again, which means we did not get the drop, the base, and the retest, right? So that didn't happen. So let's delete this off just so we can kind of get our education. Oops. Nope, not that one. No. Right there. Let's take these three off. Now, let's look at the other side of this, okay? Did we get a touch and a pullback? Yes, we did. That touch and pullback is right here. There's your touch. There's your pullback. Okay, right to there. Okay, and then there's your pullback again to the level, and boom. There was your, and again, here's where your profit target should be, right there. Okay, so again, that's how that level works. We obviously didn't get the break to the low side. And again, you did get a second entry. Again, if you wanted to grab that zone again, it came right back down again and took off again. At this point, it's looking much like the Aussie. Again, I think this is a level right here we need to watch out for. The way that dropped with the descending candles in that one and the large explosion off, obviously some sellers in that range. Okay. Now, depending on when this hits, this could actually be an interesting setup. All right. We are about 20 pips from that level. Can we move 20 pips in an hour and a half? Absolutely. So this is kind of something I'm looking for a potential 10 o'clock today, if we can get a drop off that level. The price of this one is coming in right here at the 77.12. All right. Will it turn from there? I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I think for a 10 o'clock, I think that's a pretty valid area. Again, great. Look at the movement. I mean, this is 30-minute. This is, let's see, with really no pullbacks in there, about a 50 pip runner in 2.5 hours. That's some decent strength. Now, if it was here, it would be better, right? So, one thing to do in this one, again, you can wait for a bounce like this, a hit, a pullback, and then a touchdown. Again, the opposite of this here. Or, I mean, if you want to be a bit more conservative, you don't really like what you see today for no news. Again, 77.48 is a good level. I do like the way that one touched. I love the way this formed, this drop sideways and then drop to the downside. So I think it's pretty valid, right? You can take this from either of those two shorts, but that's what we got going for Aussie yen, Euro yen. Euro yen, we're here. Yesterday we were sitting right here. Right here. Okay, so not really any movement, right? We dropped about 50 and came straight back up again. We had levels here and we talked about being in this zone. Oops, 4 hour. You can see that's where we're sitting, and again, it just grazed right along the top of that 4 hour zone. It's there. It's a bounce. It should go higher. Like I said, areas on this one that I'd be watching out for. If you have any type of long target on this one, again, I'd be getting out in this area right here. Okay. Let's make this like this so it's not confusing. In there. Again, that's where the nice movement kind of came off of. There's a short in here, probably. If somebody wanted to, get into something here, this is not a horrible area. Right there. Let's go right there. Let's take this one. Just trying to make this so tomorrow when we look at this, we're like, what the heck were we doing? Forest green. No. Let's just do this green. There you go. So again, Nice pop off this one. It skated along the top. You may or may not have gotten into this one, unfortunately. It was one of those ones that was just kind of it was there. We marked it off. Oops, not the weekly. What am I doing? I just want the 4 hour. There you go. So again, may or may not have gotten entry, and obviously this one only came down to here. So, it did do the old hit it and pull back, right? And again, unfortunately, it didn't come all the way back in. And that's where it kind of sucks, right? And it sucks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It gave us the pattern, missed it by just a little bit. What are you going to do? Okay. Yen has not been my favorite pair to play lately, so, was not looking at this one yesterday, but there's the level that we talked about. This guy. So we were looking for a retrace yesterday, right? We were looking for price to be able to break through this basing level and punch higher. So this is where we're sitting now. We were sitting right here yesterday, right here. We got the base that we liked. We never got the confirmation and the bounce higher, unfortunately, and it continued to push lower. So here's where we're at on an hourly. So we're getting close to levels. And again, we mentioned this level here. Okay. You can see that a 4 hour level starts and kicks in right. I'll just wrap it up to the 4 hours. It's probably easier. Right here. So when I talked about this one and that I'm okay with this huge drop, here's why. We were very, very high on the curve. So all we were looking for was shorts in this one, right? We talked about it. We had shorts here, all these things, looking for pullbacks for shorts. Super high on the curve. Now with this thing absolutely collapsed, and again, this can take a very long time to go from low to high, right? Lots of trades in the middle, back and forth, up, up, up. But this is a great example, okay? Here's the curve for everybody that doesn't understand. Let me draw these boxes real quick. Okay, that's approximately the same area right there. All right, here's the curve just for everybody that has a hard time with this. Top 30%, and again, I'm just kind of eyeballing this. I'm looking sideways on this one, right? Top 30%, we're looking to get short, right? As you can see, the bottom 30%, again, we're looking to go long. It moved rather quickly up, right? Then it spent all this time in here. And then, again, it got to the top of the curve, and boom, it collapsed very fast, and now we're back in the middle. So, again, understanding these two sides, where we're looking to get long and where we're looking to get short out of it. And again, look, here was a great short to the downside, a little pullback, and then boom, it collapsed all the way down. So, using these things, what did I delete? That's fine. I can mark this off. So understanding where the curve is very, very important in these. So now that we're starting to push back to the downside, now it's kind of like, all right, now I'm looking, I have potential opportunities to go long. I think our first decent shot of this one is a bit lower than where we are right now. It is about 70, 80 pips away. So I don't know that we'll get there today. We may have a slow grind, but this one may be more for kind of a tomorrow morning thing, right? It's there. Like I said, it's all the way around. It's an hour. It's a 4 hour zone. Let's go check and see what it looks like. Yeah, it's okay. I would say it's decent. Again, nice push off of it, and it hasn't been tested again. I like it better than this one, but yeah, it's not bad. It's all right. It's a wick over wick actually in this one. It's an all right zone. Like I said, I do think there's a trade in here. Again, I would probably take a confirmation bounce, the same bounce that we talked about. Not a quick kind of spike down and up. Have it hit, kind of push up again, and then again, have that fair to go lower, gives us a nice stabilization and gives us a takeoff point. Kind of like what we have right now, although I'd much rather do it at a zone, not necessarily where we are right now. Okay, we got a bit more room to run on it. Now, pound dollar. Pound dollar, we had a level, and again, we mentioned before that this one was pushed pretty deeply. There was a level right below it. So it's there. Again, not as much movement back to the downside. So we're still looking to see where this one's going to stop. I think that, again, any shorts in here, right? You guys can see right here where the takeoff happened is exactly what we ran into. I think that's the first level that we need to clear, right? And again, this is on the 4 hour, so this is going to be a bit higher of an area here, right? I'm looking at this area right now, and again, I'm going to refine it a bit further when we can get back in there. We've actually kind of rallied off of it about 40 pips. But what I'm looking for in this area would be a continued short to the downside here. Now, this 1 to 3 is a little tiny bit long. Okay, I would like it here, not here. So it is close, but this is a larger area, right? We're talking about 130 pip move to the downside. It's a decent move, right? Remember, it's got to meet the rules. It's got to come through. It's got to base, give us a little bit of space under there, then pull back, and then continue to push lower. This one may be one that I take off at like a 1 to 2.5. It just starts to get a little chopping here, right? And again, I may just trail the stop down. There's a couple different ways that we can actually play this one, but I think that's going to be what I'm looking for. As I said, I do think it will come farther back down, much like the pound yen is. It's just taking a little bit of time. And again, anything this week that is good dollar strength will continue to just, again, there's two things working for it. One, dollar strength, which we've seen, and pound weakness, also what we've seen. So if we can continue this move, we got to go from, again, high back to low. We got room to run. All right. I was like, what is that noise? My daughter was laughing. All right. So that's what we got for this. Let's go over to euro pound. So euro pound again, this guy. On the daily, you can see we're in this middle range. We're pushing back up. And again, we're sitting in a daily zone right now. Okay, so that's kind of check number one on this one. Number two, you guys can see here on a lower time frame, on the 4 hour, we're getting back high on the curve. So where does a level kick in? As you can see, the daily is sitting right here. You can see this dotted line right here, daily. I do think that there's a level sitting right in here. And again, this is quite a large level. We're sitting on a 4 hour. We're talking about 25 pips. And again, I think we could refine that a little bit. With the price being right here, we got a little bit more room to run. We got about 25, 30 pips. It is high. We have seen price turn around from that. This is an emotional, almost straight up little run here. It is going to have to run into something. If you're kind of nervous just taking this as it touches the zone, again, this could be one of those ones where you look for the bounce back down, a pullback, and then take it when it leaves, right? But it's definitely something we need to, be watching out for. And again, we've already touched it once. Hopefully it doesn't kind of leave the station without us, right? Right there, okay? And again, what my thinking is, again, high on the curve, last time price was here. And again, if this one breaks, there is a little bit of sellers right above. There's not really much we can pull from this area. So, but again, we've gone from medium back to high. Got to be thinking short. Again, on the 4 hour basis, you can see that that's where the, we're looking to get up to. And again, we've had a quick spike. I'm hoping that we can come up and stabilize right below it. It would give us a much cleaner entry than just taking this little quick spike on the 4 hour. And on the hourly, you can see that's what it looks like right there, where we've touched that zone. Okay. All right. Euro dollar. So, sitting here on the euro dollar right now. Yesterday we were sitting right here. Not that much movement. We're kind of pulling back to it right now. We're about 18 pips difference right now. I don't know. I wouldn't really say that this one really has much movement. Again, we've talked about there being a zone here, kind of bouncing around, looking for kind of cleaner entries down here, and maybe even looking for a short of a break of 117.11. We didn't really have it. I mean, we had was one pop and then just sideways moving for 16 hours. So not much you can do with this one. Again, like I said, we are looking for trending markets. I would not say that the euro dollar is trending. The daily ATR right now is 84 pips, and we've had 25 pips in 24 hours. So the question is, moving 1/4 of your ATR, is there a trend? Oops. Shh, didn't Jim? No, there's no trend in this one. So unfortunately, I don't really love too much in this. It looks great right now. Again, on the 30-minute and the hourly, movement. But we're kind of floating in the same area. You may look at this and say, hey, look, we got pullbacks. Why don't we just take a short? We're technically inside of a larger time frame demand area. So I'm always very cautious to be selling into that area. Now, again, looking at it curve-wise, where are we on the curve? On the larger scale of the curve, yes, we are still kind of high, but we're starting to approach middle. But if you take this area from here to here, right, which has been really our near-term trend since like the middle of July, this kind of range, we're kind of in the bottom, right? So we're kind of in the bottom, and it's like, yeah, we should start be thinking long, but again, I'm kind of looking for a breakout of this zone, right? Worst case scenario with this trade, if it hits this level and uses that as its bouncing point, which it could, it absolutely could. It is a level it has hit. But looking where that level was formed, again, touch here, touch here, touch here. It's hit that level multiple times. And that would kind of go with this zone. I'm looking for a break of this zone. I want something new. And again, if I'm waiting for a break below and it hits and bounces, no harm, no foul, and get into the trade, right? Nothing to worry about there. But I'm looking for it to go the opposite direction. I'm looking for it to break out of its norm. I want it to break lower. Oops, no, I don't want to delete all that stuff. Nope. What else is on there? This and that. There we go. So that's what I'm looking for. Again, 1711 is looking for the break on this. Dollar CAD. So here's dollar CAD, and again, I've refined this little level a little bit from yesterday. Not the ideal situation, but again, we're looking for this one to go short. We had mentioned this that we had a zone up here starting at 32.17, but we really needed to refine it. And the way that it kind of based below that level, I was like, when you form kind of an area of demand right below a zone, you got to be a bit cautious. Let's wait for us to go a little bit higher. And again, the way that these wicks were, showing us the ascending pattern, it's kind of like, listen, there's some strength above this one. So waiting for this one to go up, it ended up kind of forming this base and pulling back again. And again, pretty early, right? I mean, we're looking at, what was this? This was like sitting like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock last night, and then this one touched it at the Open, right? The European Open. I do think that this one has some room to run. Back to the downside, this was a very emotional burst up, and I do think it will turn and will give us the ability to flip. What? All right, here, give it to me. Here, give it to Dada. Oh, so she's found YouTube, unfortunately, and she has no patience. Here are the babies. Here are the babies. And like when one of them ends, she just starts hitting. So she sees like me and our brothers and stuff like that. When we see like up on the screen, you know how you hit like something multiple times and try to get it connect? Well, she ends up hitting it, and unfortunately, like every time she keeps tapping her finger, it goes to a new video, and then it like freaks out. It's kind of funny. But anyway, looking for a break below this 132.17 is kind of giving us a confirmation. Again, that's where the original trade started, was a bit higher. I do think this one is, again, I'm more bearish focused on this one today. But again, hour and a half from now, we do have that BOC rate, which will kind of move this around a little bit. So we may even be able to use this zone here as kind of a pullback for the news. Okay. Dollar Swiss is more or less flat. We're sitting here right now. We were sitting right. Let's see. We're sitting right here yesterday. So yeah, nothing much. We can't even hit the top and the bottom. We're kind of wedged right in the middle. So no real pattern. We wanted to go higher. We're looking for breaks lower, potential areas to go long off of. Nothing happened. Sideways. U.S. and China are not poking fingers at each other. Nobody's pissed off at this point. The world's not ending. No movement in the dollar CAD or dollar Swiss. Okay. Again, if we can get a pop, there's some shorts there. Like I said, I think for the most part, this 91.30 and 91.12 were the two areas here that we're kind of looking for potential longs if we could get there. But right now we're kind of wedged inside of this little 25 pip zone, so not too much. Oh no, not the YouTube rabbit hole. Yeah, she's in the YouTube rabbit hole, but she keeps hitting the button, so we keep getting ads. Yeah, it's crazy. But the funny part is she laughs and she talks, like she yells at it. So I don't know if you guys have anybody that has kids out there. Yeah, it's kind of funny. She'll start yelling like, "Don't," she's like, "Don't go down there." It's like the scary movie thing when you yell at this, don't go in that abandoned house that there's a murderer looking at you out of, like that kind of stuff. But obviously cartoons. So dollar yen, we had talked about having the ability to go short with the dollar yen. All right. And we mentioned that we had a zone here that had been hit a few times. Again, we had a touch here. We had a touch here. We had a touch here. We're looking, hey, listen, this is 3 already. We're looking good. Let's do the time or reset the time. We were sitting right here yesterday. Right here. And we said, listen, we had this big, large spike down. Look for a retracement higher. It was a level, right? Look for the retracement. But if we keep pounding through, let's get to, I'd much rather see a short. All it's doing right now is retracing. It's coming back up again. And again, we're looking for that confirmation bounce. We ended up getting it. I mean, again, here, bounce down, higher. And again, so many bounces off the top side. We never got the break of 105.76. But we talked about that too. So again, these levels, they can always last, right? We don't know when they're going to break. I would be looking for this one to break the next time, though, because again, 1, 2, 3, and 4 pushes to the brink. So the next time that this one comes down, I would probably, I may even just take a break, a short entry when it does break the next time, because I don't think it's got anything left, the way that this one has hit multiple times. But right now, we're just still doing the parabolic retracement move from yesterday. It's slow. I mean, off that level, you're up only about 30 pips. So it's kind of been like watching paint dry right now, if you held that. And most of this movement was here, right? Early this morning forward. So again, break of 105.76 is kind of like my kind of big one on this one. I have alerts and triggers and everything set for me if we have a break. If we're able to rally today, though, I do think if we can get to either of these ranges, zones up top, 106.42, I think is probably my favorite of the two. Again, nice movement off of this, but if you go back to the left, you can see that it hit here, and hit here. So this is kind of the fourth hit of it. This one's a bit cleaner up top. So if you're looking to get short, I think 106.42 is a good one. Again, a break of 105.76 is also a nice short. And again, targets down here at 105.35, as well as if we get a confirmation bounce off of it, take it and run, right? Take it and run. Okay, I think you're good there. Now, NQ. All right, so we're sitting right here with NQ. All right, we were sitting right here yesterday with NQ. So again, a little bit of a movement down, a little push down, and a little push back up again. We're basically in the same area. We talked and mentioned, entries down here at 10.901. We were unable to get to it, and all it did was rally back up. Unfortunately, with no news, there's not a lot that this one is really going to have to grab onto. On a 4-hour basis, you can see, again, we were looking for longs down here. It did hit, it did bounce, but it is now hitting areas where we have sellers from the past. Is it the best setup? I don't really know. This is one of those ones that I'm kind of like, it's not near anything close. We don't have any super clean levels. 11,767. I like that area for a short, but we're not even close to it at this point, right? It's got a lot of room to run. What about areas that we can go long on? I don't know. I mean, like I said, this area has been tagged already now. It's not necessarily fresh. On a 4-hour basis, is it good? Yeah. I mean, it's still valid. It's there, right? It's there. I can't take a short out of it. I just don't have enough room to run. So it's kind of like, yeah, if I had to make a call right now, I would say I'm more bearish this position today. It does appear that, again, based off of on the hourly, what it's running into right now, again, descending wicks. There's a wick over wick there, even though it burst through. Kind of this thinking right here, right? This is, again, it burst, but then we have a wick, a lower wick, and then boom, an explosion down. So I'd say, I guess I could say here, I could shrink it down into this level here. It appears it wants to go short. Do I love it? Not really. I'd love to see how the open looks and kind of see where we can drive back down into. See if we can get a reversal today, It just, not much there, right? This is what lack of news does to the markets. It just goes blah, right? It's like blah. Tomorrow there'll be a lot more movement, obviously with unemployment numbers, PPI. Right now it's just, I don't know. I think there's better opportunities in the currency pairs with a little bit of movement. Again, sitting this and watch this move, again, this happened at, let's see, all this movement happened at like 2 o'clock yesterday, 3 o'clock, straight down, market ended, and all we did was rally right back up in the overnight. So not a lot of excitement. If you guys were watching this yesterday morning, you didn't do much. It was kind of a chop back and forth and then sideways. So 30-minute, you can see it's the same level. Okay. All right, let's look at the S&P. So the S&P, we had 2 levels marked off yesterday, and we ended up taking a bounce off the first one, right? And then kind of punched higher. And then we dropped down and we started to base in that level. Typically, when you base sideways in a level, something like this, where you drop down and then you have a formed, it tends to break, right? But we gapped into that second level, actually below the second level, right? And then rally back off of it. So what I would do is I would adjust these levels now. Again, in the overnight, things change, right? Here's where we are now, and we were sitting right here. Would have been here yesterday, right? For the Nadex presentation, we were sitting right here. Same exact spot where we are. So again, we ended up not getting the bounce we wanted. We'd already bounced once. We based through, which makes sense. And then we punched higher. So this is where I'm going to, hold on, let me delete these so we can all see this. I want to see if when I delete this, you guys can see where the trade was. Okay, based off of that level, what do we talk about? And again, bigger touch than we like, but there's your pattern. There's your pullback. And there's your punch forward. So you see? So we were waiting to go long off of it, and sometimes the confirmation entry is better than the quick. Again, it depends on your level of aggressiveness, but there's the same pattern, right? The touch, the pullback, and then boom, go. Once it's confirmed to go to the high side, okay? Today, what can we do with this one? Let's see. Let me bring this back out. Whoops. Oops, no. Go back. I wanted to see that. Let's see. We are hitting... All right, we are clear. All right, so probably, let's see. There we go. Let's go down. All right, so I got a level here on the low side. Again, this would be the next level where we're looking to get long there. Kind of the same setup. No. I'll just move this over. There. There's a small level there. Change this to yellow. All right. Kind of the same. I mean, again, the reasoning on this one is the same. Again, we've seen this one being forced away already. Again, rallied all basically in the overnight, right? Over all the way up. I would say it appears that this one also wants to be short. I will say if we do get a break of this one, there is a potential long. You could do kind of that same retracement here higher. Again, this level is probably going to give us a little bit, but again, the way that this forced in here and dropped, it looks like we're pretty good and really even maybe all the way back up if we have a positive day. Right now, I would say that this one looks like it wants to hold. It looks like it wants to be a short in at least today. And again, looks like we have targets would be, approximately up here at the 3440 level with any type of positive news. But right now, I would say, purely off a technical basis, it is more set up for a short right now to run right back down to the 3285. All right. Kind of the same picture that we have with the NQ. And again, it's 8:45 in the morning. This is all pre-market. We got to see what the retail trader does. All right. So we also had levels in this one. Okay. Let's go back up to the hourly. This is a 4 hour that I had that marked off of. Probably. All right, let's pull this one across. So Dow did the same thing. We ended up taking that bounce, coming back up, grabbing orders, and coming down and stabilizing. Again, typically a good telltale sign that there's going to be some type of a movement. Kind of the same thing. I wouldn't say that this is any really different. I wouldn't say that this one is attractive. I'd say this one is still ugly. Kind of the same thing. Again, this is a tested level, but we're kind of sitting right there. I would say, if I had to make this opinion, if you told me it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd be like, hey, listen, this is an area where, I would say I'm bearish biased. The one thing that I don't like about this versus the other two siblings is the fact that it's coming up and it's really basing below. You can see the S&P. It's kind of hit and pulled back. And again, this is kind of that failure to go, to go any higher. NQ is just hit and kind of rolled off of it. So this one has come up and is just based, which typically is kind of more of a no-no for a short, but because the other two are kind of in that same idea, it's kind of like, yeah, this is hit, it's dropped, it can't go higher. It is lower wick still. It's another lower wick here. Again, any type of negativity, shoot back to the downside. So, you're kind of looking for, drop it to a 30 and see if I can get a better picture. Not really. It's there. Let's move this just a little bit. It's right there. All right. So something along those lines. Entering just a little bit higher. And then again, profit targets down here at 27.31. So I think what makes sense. Again, it goes along with those two. Okay. Let's jump over to gold. So here's where we had gold. Here we're sitting right now at 9. We were sitting right here. Right here is where we talked yesterday during the Nadex presentation because we were later in the day yesterday. And what did I say? 3 things straight up in the morning. Look for a reversal once we get kind of the basing. Well, what do we do in the next candle? We based and then we dropped away. And you can see we pulled all the way back down. And again, there are buyers sitting there. So valid area, right? It's pushing up right now. But this was about a 17. Was it 17? Yeah, about $17 move to the downside off of that level yesterday. And all it did was just kind of grind down from, again, lunchtime, right? Lunchtime. Large emotional move. So this is why the open is so important. And then again, finding your reversals. Would I use that level again? It hasn't been broken, but it has been hit pretty deeply. So again, if you are looking to take that level, make sure you take very limited risk on that one. It has a higher, I guess it has a higher chance of failing this time because it has now been a tested level and we've gone into the upper kind of 80-90% of it. I still think if we're able to burst through this level, I think 1946 is a great short. The way that bounced off, and again, it's only had one touch and it was hammered back down again. I think 1946 is an absolute great short in there. This one again, it was great for a hit yesterday. Again, if we come back up, be very cautious with this one for another short. Not saying it can't happen, but again, just make sure you have you're controlling your risk on this one, because again, I could see it coming up, basing in here, and then punching higher to grab these 1946s before it goes short again. And overall, 1912 is going to be your overall targets to the downside. So again, keep those in your radar. Silver, nothing. It's just flat. So here's where we are right now. Yesterday, we were sitting right here when we talked. Actually, it was the spike, and it was the same idea. Right, we're kind of hitting a level, look for a retrace. This one just kind of went back and failed on a sideways. So, still holding the short option in here to the downside. If it drops and gives us space, and again, remember, it needs to look like this. It needs to drop down, come back up again, and then continue through. So, yeah, silver's not as exciting of the two, right? Silver gets drug around. I think gold is more of the play. Tomorrow morning, though, I'm going to say this right now. Tomorrow morning, the PPI number. Right, the PPI number tomorrow, and then the CPI number on Friday. Both of these are going to be much better days for gold and silver, because that inflation number, that's what's going to drive these two. So again, we got some good plays there. So let's look at CAD yen real quick before we jump into oil. So this is where we're kind of sitting. So obviously very, very low on the curve, right? Obviously very, very low on the curve. Actually, I don't need this right now. I'll just take these off. This level was good. This level here. All right. Let's go up to a 4 hour. All right. So you guys can see we are bouncing pretty much off this level here, right? And again, it's kind of giving us that quick break. So, just one little piece right there. Let me see what that looks like real fast. Hold on. It's a decent level. It is a decent level. I was trying to see if we have a nice little short pattern over there, but it looks like no. All right, so this one's going to be a little bit harder to get into. It's not really necessarily close to anything clean. Let's see. Is it hitting a zone on the 30? No, not really. I mean, kind of. I guess kind of right now. I was hoping we'd have something really, really clean, like a nice little drop, a base, kind of those like, ascending candles. And there's a little bit right here. There's a little bit sitting right in here. I don't love it. I mean, it's there, but I don't really love it. Here you can see that the indicator drew on top of it. It's okay. I don't really love it. I said it's there. I mean, if you guys want something really aggressive, again, we're an hour and 10 minutes away, so we got to see what happens with this next hour with the CAD yen. Obviously, the U.S. Open is going to kind of jack around the yen a bit, but it's right in the middle of the zone too. I wish we had something nice in here. Oh, it's killing me. It's like, give me something right in here. Like, I want something like this. Like something like right in here would be great. Right? Give me something to move up to. We just don't have anything until we get much higher up top. So, yeah, I don't have much on this one, unfortunately. So I think dollar CAD is going to be the way to play the news release. A lot of junk up top here. Yeah, I mean we're pretty much clean until here. I guess that's not true. I guess there is a small wick over wick right here. Right, that we're running into right now on a 4 hour basis. And again, large pop in the last 4 hours. So this could be a turnaround point. I mean, if anything, wait for a burst through the top side. There's just not enough in this one, right? All right, let me pull up a trading view. Let's get some oil over here. So yeah, oil, full feature chart. Let's bring it across and bam. All right, so oil. Oh, come on. Why am I doing me like this? There we go. All right, so oil. Okay, so here is that level that we talked about yesterday, right? With that mark down there at 36.10. We did not make it in one day all the way down to 34.62. But this is a level we need to keep our eyes on. So right now, there are two levels in play for longs, okay? Obviously, this level right here, we got to keep an eye on. right? Secondary level down here is going to be this range. So those are the two levels in play for longs. Now, at this point, all we did get from here to yesterday, right? Here's 12, and then yesterday we were sitting right here, right? Actually, it would have been down here. We're back up at the same level. So again, here's your bounce, there's your push up, there's your stabilization at that same level. I would say right now, this one does look like it wants to rally higher. Just by the way it's stabilizing. And again, it did give us a pullback and came right back up again. So I do think that, oh, I love me some TradeStation. I do think that this looks like right now that it does want to go a bit higher. And again, we are retracing a lot of this move from yesterday, right? This was a huge emotional move, bounced off a level, came back and retested the level, and we're pushing higher. So I think profit target wise, again, I would probably go here. And again, make sure that we are, using this bottom. I would say that 38.55 would be an upward side target today. Again, make sure you get profit. It doesn't mean it's stopping there. It actually could go a little bit higher into this level of basing. But again, this will get us out before the kind of rollover and flip. Just a little bit higher probability. And here, I'll mark that off here as far as kind of levels that we're looking for. And again, this is a, you know what? I'm going to change it to green. Oh, no, not that one. This one to green. Again, that's going to be profit target, not necessarily an entry. Because again, we have a level here, but again, we punch through that and the zone is actually a bit higher. So let me see, bring it up a little bit. 2 hours doesn't change it. Not too much there. Go back up to a day. Let me see. Yeah, so if you were using that one for a short, I would probably use the higher area in here, most likely. Again, this is great for a profit target. I would not take a short off of this one. Wait till it comes up and is up in this area. Probably somewhere along, probably up in here is kind of the better area to be shorting off of. Okay, only because that was the start of the actual move itself. Right here was the start, and then again it launched itself off of that level to the downside. Again, great profit target here. Okay, so oil today again with this basing, like I said, it's forming this pullback in here. And again, if we drop it down to a 30-minute, you'll probably see the pullback. Yeah, you can see the pullback on this one. It's forming some buyers here, and again, it's still fighting, it's still punching, but again, high, again, low here, and we punched up, but again, stabilization before the U.S. Open. It looks like this one wants to retrace some of its move yesterday. Profit targets up here at 38.55. All right. You give any more thoughts on indicators for? Yeah, we're investigating it right now. Matt's actually over there. He's looking at it right now to figure out if it's something that we can. Unfortunately, the secret sauce that we're able to do inside of MT4, we don't know. We think that TradingView is going to be a little bit too scripted for the secret sauce, and the secret sauce is what makes the indicator so good on MT4. And I want to make sure that if we bring it across, I want to make sure that the levels are almost exact. There's nothing worse than having indicators, but when you put them on two different platforms, they give you different results. So I want to make sure that we have consistency between the two. That's the biggest problem right now. Tesla. You want me to look at Tesla? I can look at Tesla real quick. I'm okay with that. No. I hate this one when it's like, oh no, save everything. Estrogen. Changes were made, will not be saved. No, save. I hate this when it doesn't save. No, cancel. Don't want to record. I wish there was like a save button. It's like, come on, just save it. Nope. I know there was changes made. All right. Let's check out Tesla. I'm always for Tesla. All right. So you can see that Tesla's had a bit of a gap. All right. So with Tesla, let's bring it back here. So again, Tesla obviously dropping, huge drop off. You can see the pre is already up here. Look at that. Nice little jump in the overnight. Unfortunately, Tesla's very, very jumpy at this point. Let's see. Do we have anything clean in here? Yeah, I mean, there's levels in here. It's not bad. Would you be willing to take any shorts off of this? Let's see. There's a bit of a level here. Let's look at this. This could be something right here. I mean, there's definitely something here. Oops. not the ideal kind of situation, but definitely something sitting right there for Tesla. Let's see on this 30-minute. I want to see what that one looks like. I'd like to put it here, but unfortunately, it's been at that level a few times. Let's go back down to hourly. Yes, engine. Again, rally, base, rally, pullback, and gone. And again, you can see what it bounced into. That's probably its internal zone. It definitely can cover that in one day. Top to bottom. Again, I think Tesla's gotten pretty beat up on this one. I think it's Tesla is like kind of like in an early stage like Amazon and Apple, where people are like, no, it doesn't do anything. But like all they need to do is come out with like another Rocket X or some type of new car or some type of advance in roof tiles. I mean, there's so many different things that Tesla can do to suddenly go higher. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like, do you want to bet against Elon Musk? And how many people have bet against Elon? It's kind of like, it's one of those things. I don't know. I feel like the guy knows business. Yeah, I don't know. So I would say right now, again, it looks like it's kind of set up in a short. We know that the pre-market is sitting up at 350. So we know we're sitting up in this range right now in this kind of pre-market area. And again, it's a nice bounce. That doesn't mean it's going to stay that high or move that far. I mean, again, right now it's 6.75%. That's quite a large jump, right? Yesterday it was down 21, but now we're up 6. So the question is, again, will this be another opportunity to take this short? Sure, it could be. Yeah, it absolutely could be. And again, that would coincide with what we're seeing in the indices, right? NQ, Dow, everything. We're talking about, the rally in the overnight, but then we can see it rolling over and flipping for, at 10 o'clock today. So couple ways you can play this. Again, Tesla is a big boy. You can trade some options on this one. You can take some limited risk positions down to the short side. And again, you don't have to get fancy with this one. The other thing you can do as well is, again, we know that Tesla's been on a fall. We know it's going to kind of run into some things. I wouldn't, at its price, it's not necessarily something that you want to be buying a whole lot of stock shares in. But again, playing this in options is probably pretty safe. Again, you can play this with some, put spreads. You can play this with some butterflies. There's a couple different ways. There's no reason to get super fancy with this one. Again, trade it off the lower levels, at least on the hourly is not bad. I would say if we are able to break through this zone, I do see us. Again, I don't see us coming all the way back up to this level. I just don't think that's what's going to happen. But again, I think you will see put it this way, there's some shorting in here. I just don't see a clean level that I'd be willing to do it. Probably right around here, the 41.17. Again, play this short bounce. Again, obviously we're in a downtrend. It is going to hit some bigger levels of demand. And again, that's why we're seeing the bounce off of here. Overnight came down, bounced back up, but we're sitting back in the same level. So, it could potentially be again, another short day as this rallies higher if the markets all roll at the same time. Okay. All right. Looks like some good money be made on the short option. Yeah, I would, like I said, this would be kind of, I'd use, I would probably take something short off of this at the open, just preparing for it to go a bit higher. And again, the options are protecting you from a burst through the top, but you should be able to roll over. And again, I don't see, I don't see anything in here that's, a lot of this I think is because of this, not TradeStation, because of this, right? People see this split, they're like, "Oh God, let me sell my money now, right? Let me cash my profit in, right?" And that's why I think a lot of this is coming in. I don't think the company has not changed from here to here, right? No big change in the company, right? But you got that split that's coming in that's affecting things. So yeah, so that's what I would do. All right, guys, with that, I am going to bounce. The girl is now on my lap, so I'm going to make sure that I go get her some food. Let's go ahead and do the Pip Chip giveaway for the day. Like I said, everybody is eligible for the drawing. Make sure you do exclamation point ticket if you are in. What you do is you get Pip Chips. Pip Chips are the currency by watching the channel. You get enough of them, you are able to turn it in for mentoring. It's basically one-on-one Zoom sessions. I've been doing basically almost like one mentoring session a day lately. Again, people seem to love it, and again, so don't shortchange yourself by not doing it. I'll give you guys about another minute to get in, so I will stop this at 1:11. Time elapsed or elapsed. I think it's elapsed. At 1:11, I will go ahead and shut it down and just do the drawing. Another side note, again, I think tomorrow I'm going to try to do, instead of 8 to 9, I'm going to do 9 to 10 tomorrow, and see if that works out a little bit better, so I can make sure the boys are unschooling. Girl will be fed with her apple juice, and she's ready to go. And I think it'll make it a little bit easier. And then we'll be able to take advantage of the news a little bit better for tomorrow, playing reversals and dealing with that PPI. All right, so another 40 seconds and we will be done. Tomorrow, again, 8 to 9 a.m. tomorrow, we'll be able to trade the open, and we'll go from there. 11, what else we got in here? Anybody else ask for anything? I don't see anything, no. All right. And I'm still plotting my revenge, Ernest. Still plotting my revenge. I'll get something, it'll be good. Marina and Debbie both said that they would absolutely help me. All right, let's see. Here we got. Oh, by the way, Marina won yesterday. So again, she's in with 1. If she wins today, she gets her 100 pip chips. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bam, look at that. Perfect at 1:11. All right, winner of today's drawing is, and with the delay you guys already know, Debbie. Look at this, women. Man, the girls are back into the butt kicking phase again. So Debbie's got, whoops, let's go to leaderboard. Let's go ahead and give Debbie her 25. Boom, look at that. Creeping up there again. Creeping. Look at this. Marina is right on the heels again. Well, I need to call Q. I got to figure out where he is. Man, I hope Q's okay. I'm going to have to message Q, guys. He's in New York City, so hopefully he wasn't absorbed by the zombie horde in New York City. All the pictures I see, Debbie again. All the zombie hordes, it's like, oh, it's crazy, right? Crazy. And poor James. James is melting on his front porch still. And Sean has done his trading by like this chart school time. Sean is so funny every day. Profit. That's why he's not he's making too much money to join us in the mornings. All right, guys. So with that said, don't forget, again, this is what we got tomorrow morning. I'm going to try it tomorrow morning. We're going to do 9 to 10 a.m. So we will miss the PPI. We will be dealing with the responses to it. And again, playing the reversals, which I think will be a better time. So we'll go 9 a.m. Eastern time to 10 a.m. Eastern time. We'll trade the open, and then we will trade the reversals at 10 o'clock. And that should set us up again. Make sure you guys look at these things. Look for your 30-minute levels. Again, this is a gold trade right here. We're trading gold for these. All right. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Everybody, good trading today, and I'll catch you later.